In the wake of two major incidents, a shocking 8 billion Korean won stock theft during his military service and viral footage of him being chased alone through an airport, fans are now asking a question that HYBE seems unwilling to answer. Why has no one in power publicly apologized to Jungkook? This isn't about company policy anymore. It's about basic respect. How can the world's biggest agency, the one that built its empire on BTS, stay completely silent while their most golden member is repeatedly exposed, stalked, and stolen from? Despite overwhelming fan backlash, the company has yet to issue a single personal statement regarding Jungkook's safety, emotional well-being, or the betrayal he faced from an insider who stole his shares. The silence speaks volumes, and fans aren't staying quiet anymore. If HYBE can't protect Jungkook, then maybe they don't deserve him. With Protect Jungkook trending globally and fans demanding answers, the question is no longer if HYBE mishandled things, but whether Jungkook himself will ever trust them again. IS Korea's most beloved idol being treated like a disposable product behind the scenes. It was supposed to be a quiet chapter in his life, serving his country, honoring his duty, stepping out of the spotlight, just for a moment of peace. Instead, Jungkook's military service became a storm he never saw coming. First, the scandal that stunned fans. Billions of won in company stock, stolen from Jungkook by someone shockingly close to the industry. While the courts ruled in his favor, the thief's identity remains hidden, suspiciously protected. Then, in May 2025, a second blow. Jungkook, back on Korean soil for a brief moment, was chased through a public airport, alone, dragging a suitcase and desperately trying to avoid a wall of screaming fans and paparazzi. No security, no protection, no apology. Not even a whisper from HYBE. For a company that built its power off Jungkook's sweat and sacrifice, HYBE's silence has turned into a betrayal. Fans waited for a statement, a letter to tweet, anything, but instead there was nothing. No words of support, no commitment to better security, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. And now, armies across the globe are demanding answers, because this isn't just about mishandling. It's about gaslighting a global fan base who has watched their idol suffer in silence, while the people meant to protect him say nothing at all. After the airport incident, Protect Jungkook trended #1 worldwide on X, formerly Twitter, for 36 hours. Tens of thousands of posts surfaced. HYBE used Jungkook to sell albums and concerts, but now won't even send security. They had bodyguards for executives, but left Jungkook alone? This is not how you treat someone who gave you his youth. Fan cafes and forums exploded with rage and heartbreak. Some even began calling for a mass fan boycott of HYBE's official merchandise until the company addresses Jungkook directly. Because to many, this feels like emotional neglect from a company that's profited from his every breath. Some insiders speculate that HYBE's silence may be strategic, designed to avoid admitting liability for Jungkook's lack of protection. Others believe there is growing tension between Jungkook and management, especially after he reportedly removed his official Instagram and minimized social media presence. Even more unsettling, there are whispers that Jungkook may be distancing himself, not just from the company, but from the K-pop industry entirely. Fans point to his emotional tone in the I Am Still documentary and his unusually withdrawn demeanor in recent appearances as evidence of burnout, or something deeper. And if Jungkook does walk away, it may be the greatest heartbreak armies have ever faced. Jungkook gave fans more than just music. He gave them vulnerability, authenticity. His growth, from teenage rookie to global icon, played out in real time. Every tear, every triumph, every sleepless night. But what did he get in return from fans? Unwavering love. From HYBE, only silence. He carried your empire. You let him run through an airport like a nobody. Viral fan comment with over 250,000 likes. The emotional toll is visible. And fans are done pretending it's okay. This isn't just about PR. It's about trust. And right now, the bond between HYBE and Jungkook looks broken. Will he renew with the company after military discharge? Will he return to the stage on his own terms or not at all? And most heartbreakingly, will Jungkook ever feel truly safe in the industry he helped build? Because at this point, the silence is no longer neutral. It's an answer. And fans are listening loud and clear. To the average observer, HYBE's silence might seem like corporate formality. But to armies who followed every chapter of Jungkook's journey, this feels deeply personal and intentional. Inside K-pop, silence from the agency is never neutral. It's either a calculated strategy to control narrative or a signal of distancing. And in this case, HYBE's refusal to address two separate public controversies involving Jungkook has left fans wondering, is Jungkook being punished for something we don't know? Jungkook's solo documentary I Am Still, released on Disney Plus in late 2024, now reads differently in hindsight. What first looked like a reflective piece on artistry is now being dissected as a subtle plea, a coded emotional release. Throughout the episodes, Jungkook mentions, "I was always scared to disappoint. I didn't know how to rest. I questioned my worth even after the cheers." At the time, fans praised his vulnerability. But now, after the stock Betrayal, the airport chaos, and HYBE's cold silence, many are rereading those words as warnings. Was Jungkook already preparing to detach? Was the documentary not just about music, but survival? Let's not forget, Jungkook wasn't just embarrassed or ignored. He was financially violated. An insider stole shares worth nearly 8.5 billion Korean wons, approximate $6 million US, using his name without consent while he was serving in the military. Though courts ruled in his favor, HYBE never disclosed who did it and never condemned the action publicly. Why? Was it a high-ranking employee? Was it someone protected to avoid scandal? Or worse, did they hope no one would notice? This wasn't just a business mishap. This was betrayal. During his most vulnerable period, with no formal apology from the agency, fans are taking matters into their own hands. Petitions demanding public accountability have reached over 500,000 signatures. Protect Jungkook campaigns have begun renting billboard space in Seoul and even outside HYBE's headquarters. Fan projects across China, Japan, and the US are emphasizing one message. You may have the company, but we have Jungkook's back. In one viral Weverse post, a fan wrote, "If HYBE won't speak up for him, we will." Loudly. Jungkook is expected to be officially discharged from military service this June. And yet, there's no official schedule, no hint of a comeback, no roadmap from the label. Compare that to V. Taeyong immediately scheduled brand deals and public content after enlistment, J-Hope, publicly celebrated by HYBE with events and official projects lined up. Jungkook, just silence. Even internal staffers, according to anonymous posts on Korean forums, are confused why HYBE is acting like Jungkook doesn't exist. Why is their biggest global solo success being treated as an afterthought? This is no longer just about industry politics. This is about a young man who's given everything and now faces the aftermath alone. He debuted at 15. He grew up under the microscope. He gave his voice, his soul, his health, his peace, for a system now treating him like a liability. There's something fundamentally heartbreaking about watching someone who carried an empire be ignored in his most human moments, and fans are not okay. We don't want a new album if he's not safe. We want Jungkook to be happy more than we want him to perform. These aren't just fandom tears. This is a global movement saying enough is enough. It's the question no one wants to ask, but everyone is asking. Jungkook has not renewed his contract publicly. The silence around his post-military schedule suggests that negotiations are either stalled or fractured. Insiders point out that Jungkook removed his Instagram account before enlistment. He has not been active on Weverse since he reportedly told a fan before Walmall, "I want to try something different after this." Add that to the lack of communication from HYBE, and you get the perfect storm of suspicion. Could he follow in the footsteps of idols who left quietly on their own terms to start fresh? And if he does, would anyone really blame him for a company that built a billion-dollar empire off the voices of 7 boys? HYBE's silence is doing irreversible damage to its relationship with the most devoted fandom on Earth. Jungkook doesn't need another stage. He needs support. He needs justice. He needs his name cleared and his dignity restored. Until HYBE steps forward, not with a vague press release, but a public apology and commitment to protection. the wound remains open, and so does the question that started it all. Why hasn't HYBE apologized to Jungkook?